Here come the results, everybody. Good Super Tuesday evening to you. I'm Chris Radcliffe.
And I'm Lindsay Littman. Thanks for tuning in. We have a lot of results to get to, so let's jump in. The first race we're going to focus on tonight are the results in the Republican primary for the state representative seat in District 55, covering most of Bell County. And it shows a potential upset here for incumbent Hugh Schein, with Hillary Hickman taking away 52% of the vote at this point.
Now, the election party in Belton is still underway as the community is viewing live results of important races that are still coming in right now.
Well, 6 News anchor Adriana Alexander is live at the Cadence Bake Center with updates on what's been happening so far. Adriana?
Chris, Lindsay, Bell County leaders, including District Attorney Henry Garza and Precinct 3 Commissioner Bill Schuman, have been in attendance, as well as dozens of other people taking an eye on election results for Hugh Schein and Hillary Hickman. Both of these candidates are vying for the seat of State House District 55. I contacted Hickman just moments ago to get her thoughts on tonight's results so far. She told me, quote, "We are still watching the results, not ready to talk yet," unquote. I did speak to her earlier, and she highlighted her campaign points, which include vouching for school choice and taking control of the border. Again, those votes are still coming in, but we will continue to give you guys more updates as they become available. Live in Belton, Adriana Alexander, 6 News.
Okay, stay right there, Adriana. We'll check in with you in just a minute. The incumbent Hugh Schein was hopeful for a 5th consecutive term, but tonight, as of right now, he's falling short on the vote total to Hillary Hicklin, to get him to that general election in November.
Anchor Bailey Bates has been with the Hugh Schein campaign throughout the day today, and she joins us live now in the studio with the latest. Bailey?
Lindsay, Chris, Representative Hugh Schein hasn't returned my call after the results coming in have shown in favor of his main challenger, Hillary Hickman. Those results are pending still. Schein was seeking his 5th consecutive term as State Representative District 55. He has served in the role since January 2017. The incumbent was running on his re-election on several key issues in Texas politics, including securing the border, improving the economy, blocking defunding law enforcement, and cutting property taxes. Schein also says he has fought for increased funding for public schools and fully funded the teacher retirement system. His challenger, Hickman, was running on the issue of school choice, which is one of Governor Greg Abbott's top priorities. She received an endorsement from him earlier on in the campaign season. Schein has told us from the beginning that Abbott's support for his challenger stemmed from his votes on school choice legislation last year. I talked to Schein earlier today as the polls in Temple, and he showed appreciation for his time in office and for the chance to seek re-election.
Thank you for the opportunity to continue to represent the community. I consider it a privilege. I look at my duties and responsibilities as being an ambassador for Bell County down in Austin, and I think that holds a very high level of stewardship, and I treat that accordingly.
Once again, we have reached out to Representative Schein for a comment about falling short in this election as of now. We'll keep you updated throughout the night when we do hear from him, guys.
Yeah, a little too early for everybody to be speaking at this point. Thank you so much, Bailey. Another heated race was for McLennan County Sheriff. So let's take a look at the results so far. Sheriff Parnell McNamara leading as he begins to pull away from Jeff Aguirre, 54-46 on the percentage totals right now. Again, this one hasn't been called yet, but it has looked like it's leaning the incumbent's way, Parnell McNamara.
Well, 6 News reporter Sydney Deshawn joins us now live from Waco with reaction. I know it's busy, and you look like you have some special guests there too. Sydney?
Lindsay, I'm here at Tucker Hall in Woodway for a watch party with incumbent McLennan County Sheriff Parnell McNamara, and he's joined here with his wife. Parnell, I just have a couple of questions for you.
Yes.
As those results and votes start to trickle in, how are you feeling about the numbers? Is it kind of what you were expecting?
I'm feeling great about it. We continue to go up a little more each time they announce it, and I'm just elated that we're where we are. Just so proud of all of our supporters and how they've helped us over the line, and I couldn't be happier. I'm just, wow, what a great night. We're having a great party, and it's good to be here and so good to be ahead.
Yeah, I love to hear that. Tell us about some of your goals if you get to hold the title of McLennan County Sheriff again.
Pardon?
Tell us about some of the goals that you had
Okay.
if you get to keep that title.
Our main goal is to keep our citizens as safe as possible. We fight crime on every front. We fight narcotics, we fight human trafficking, we fight murders, robberies, child molestations, everything. Our guys are out there on the front line fighting every day to keep you, our citizens, safe. And that's our goal. And we'll never let up. We will never let up on these criminals. Our goal, our motto, we're going to keep the heat turned up and the hammer down on these scumbags, and we're going to continue to ride herd on the lawless.
Got it. And lastly, what does it mean to have this community here supporting you tonight? I know there's a lot of people out here. How does it feel to see all these people out here supporting you?
Oh, it's just overwhelming. It's heartwarming. I've seen so many good friends that I haven't seen in a long time. Really long-time police officers are here. Some have retired and have come back to be here at the party. It's overwhelming. Charlotte was at the polls with me every minute from beginning to end. I can't say enough about how hard she worked out there. I worked hard. I think she worked a lot harder than I did. Yeah, she did. She definitely did. So anyway, thank y'all so much for being here. It's a great party, and we're having a great time. We've got good food, good music, and a lot of good people here.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for chatting with us tonight.
Thank you.
Again, we're going to have those final results in on 6 News tonight, so make sure to stay with us. But for now, live in Woodway, Sydney DeShawn, 6 News.
Okay, thank you so much, Sydney, for that report and that live interview. We appreciate it. All right, let's pull out wide and take a look now at the presidential race numbers tonight. And Joe Biden wins Texas with over 500,000 votes tonight. That got him 86% of the Democratic votes that came in. Marianne Williamson finished second with 4% of the vote total. On the Republican side, former President Donald Trump easily wins Texas. He's closing in on 1.1 million votes as we speak, which is double the vote total of Joe Biden. But Nikki Haley did peel off nearly 250,000 votes and took 18% of the Republican vote total tonight. Lindsay standing by at the 6 News real-time results map to show us how this looks for our local counties. Lindsay?
Well, first, let's go ahead and look at Trump's performance. The great thing about this map is it's interactive and it's on our website, kcentv.com. And you can click on it county by county. So you can see Bell County put in just about 20,000 votes for Trump. And then if you go up to McLennan County, you can toggle through these different counties and you see McLennan had just under 17,000, and you can see Texas as a whole was pretty red, which shows the degree in this Republican primary to which they were voting for former President Trump, which you just heard Chris share those numbers. Now looking on the Democratic side, let's see how Biden fared as well, and you can see pretty strong votes for Biden. You can see it a little bit in a lighter shade of blue over here, but once again, when you check out our counties, you can get a closer look at exactly how many numbers came in. That's a look at Coryell County and McLennan County, just under 4,000 votes. But that's a great tool to get a little bit more context as to how many people showed up to vote and how strong those voters felt about Biden and Trump as well. So once again, we'll check in with this map, but Chris, back to you.
Okay, Lindsay, stay right there. More in just a minute because we're going to look at the U.S. Senate races right now. Incumbent Ted Cruz trying to win re-election this fall, another 6-year term. And he easily secures the nomination tonight with not much threat to him at all. Cruz takes even more votes statewide than former President Donald Trump did tonight and takes 89% of the Republican tally, so he didn't have anyone barking at his heels. And Cruz's opponent in November, we can confidently say now, it'll be former Baylor football player Colin Allred. The current House of Representatives member got 61% of the vote tonight, so he's far away from a runoff, and he got almost 350,000 total votes. Lindsay's back at our interactive map to give us some context on how local voters broke for the Senate race.
Yeah, this is really interesting, Chris. Okay, in the teal, dark teal color, that is for Allred. And so you can see, just like you mentioned, he got just about 367,000 voters to come out and vote for him. Once again, you can toggle in that and see a closer look at how our local counties voted for him. You can see just a few hundred votes there. there in Coryell County. We'll switch on Bell in just a minute if everything will work. But let's go ahead and switch over and take a look at what Ted Cruz pulled in, because that's a pretty staggering number across the state at 1.2 million people voting in that Republican primary for him. And you can also go in here deeper and see what our local folks are voting for. Now see, we see all this orange, very strong for Ted Cruz, but right here in Bell County, it was actually a little bit of a closer race with 15,000 votes there for Ted Cruz. McLennan, though, a pretty strong message that they want Ted Cruz on the Republican side there. So once again, all of this is on our website and provides a lot of context county by county, Chris.
Yeah, Lindsay, and I remember the 2018 numbers. Ted Cruz performed very, very well in McLennan County, and the further you went south on I-35, his numbers dwindled until you got to Austin, where he was behind Beto O'Rourke. Okay, thank you so much, Lindsay. Next up, let's talk about the U.S. House of Representatives. We're going to District 6. This district starts right around Hillsborough and runs kind of up into a weird shape into the Dallas area. And it looks like Jake will be winning again with 61% of the vote total. So then we go to District 10 on the Democrat side, and Teresa Rousseau with 72% of the vote will be in that election in November. This is most of the Brazos County, but it's really a weird district as well that runs all the way from Round Rock over almost to Katy. So it goes through that whole swath of the Brazos Valley. And we go to the Republican side of it, and you can see Michael McCall doing quite well there, Lindsay.
That's right, with a very strong lead at 73% as well.
He's the incumbent right now.
Now let's go ahead and switch over to the Republican primary in District 17, and you can see that Pete Sessions takes that away with 85% as well there.
Okay, then we go down south where Judge John Carter has held District 31 since the entire time it's been, it was brought about back in 2002. And Stuart Whitlow will be the one who tries to take him on if he stays at 50%. If this falls below 50% for his vote total, he'll have a runoff against Judge Carter, who once again is going to be the incumbent there. And despite having 3 other people trying to unseat him, it looks like he'll be going for another term. The 82-year-old congressman from Bell County.
Now let's take a look at some of our state representative races. Let's look at District 12, and you can see pretty tight there in the Republican primary. Trey Wharton with 38%, but John Harvey Slocum with 32% right behind him. Up next is State Representative District 14 on the Republican side, and Paul Dyson clearly far ahead of his challenger Rick Davis. Paul Dyson bringing in 64%.
All right, and next up is State Representative District 17 on the Republican side. Stan Gertis with 60% of the vote easily defeats Toy Glass tonight by a 20 percentage point margin. And then that takes us to District 56 on the Republican side. This is the one out of McLennan County. Pat Curry and Debbie Duke, we saw a lot of advertisement out of this, and it looks like Pat Curry with a 10-point lead right now, and a lot of the vote total has come in. So barring an upset, looks like Pat Curry will be the one who takes Doc Anderson's old seat, who finally decided to retire.
Now let's move on to State Representative for District 68 in the Republican primary, and David Spiller coming in with 70% of the vote there in that one. And here's a look at the results so far for Criminal Court of Appeals Place 7. It looks like the clear winner here is Gina Parker with 66%.
Okay, how about the Bell County DA Republican race? We've talked about this a lot. This one may go to a runoff, and in fact, it's pretty confident it's going to. Stephanie Newell was going to take over for Henry Garza. She worked in the office. She wants to have the job. But we've got Jeff Parker at 36% right behind her. Nobody has 50% there. That one could go to a runoff. And next up is the Bell County Sheriff side of things on the Republican race. This will not be a runoff. It looks like William Cook, with 72% of the vote, is going to be heading to the general election in November there.
Well, from Bell County to Brazos County now, let's take a look at the results in the Republican primary for District Attorney of Brazos County. Incumbent Jarvis Parsons pulls ahead against his challenger with 66% of the vote, and that's final with 100% of the precincts reporting.
And our 6 News reporter Andrea Uribe is live for us in Bryan at the watch party down there for Jarvis Parsons with reaction. Let's get things live to her.
Yes, thank you, Chris. So we are here with Mr. Jarvis Parsons. You know, how are you feeling? You have over almost 13,000 votes.
Well, I'm feeling very humble and blessed right now. So we have a really good team, and just thankful to the voters of Brazos County for trusting me and in this position, and for the fourth term, and being able to go back to work and just be able to do the people's work of just trying to protect the citizens of Brazos County and to try to be tough on crime and hold individuals accountable.
Yeah, and in that same theme, why do you think you've been so successful with your goals and your strategies?
I think that the thing that makes us so successful is that we have a great team of people, and people who work hard. They work weekends, they work nights. It's hard, grueling work, but it's worth it because you get a chance to help victims in their greatest time of need. And there's nothing like that. There's nothing that can replace that feeling of being able to say, yes, we're able to help, we're able to be an advocate for you in court, to be able to say, yes, this happened to you, what happened to you was wrong, and it should never happen to anybody else again. And so that's the thing I'm most proud of, is that the team that we have around us that is just unified with one goal and one purpose, is to help protect Brazos County.
Definitely, and then, it is your fourth term, but is there anything different that you'd want to try, any areas of growth that you would like to touch on?
I think so. I think one of the things that we want to do is expand our collaboration with people like Unbound to work on human trafficking issues here, but also moving into things such as computer and cell phone forensics and developing our experts in those areas to be able to aid and work with law enforcement to be able to download cell phones and computers even faster, to be able to provide real-time evidence of crimes, because every crime now is recorded on video or in text messages and things like that, from drugs to murders and all those things. I think also with that, computer forensics is also making sure we ramp up our real-time going after child pornographers who are in our communities, who many times are not on the radar. We have to go and make sure that we're going out and finding them, but also working with our businesses to try to find ways to make sure that we are protecting businesses from either internal theft, but also external theft. So even if it's large or small businesses, mom and pop shops, all of those people deserve protection. And so just to make sure that they are able to build a business here so they can work for their families and to build a legacy for their families that last generations.
Thank you so much, and hope you go enjoy your celebration.
I will. Thank you, ma'am.
For 6 News, I'm Andrea Uribe.
Andrea, thank you so much. You could hear those cheers in the background.
Okay, one more race to tell you about. Coryell County Sheriff on the Republican side, and Scott Williams right now with 51% of the vote. If he can remain above 50, that won't be a runoff, and then he will head to the general election in November.